Did you ever watch Black Mirror?
Yeah.
Did you watch the one where they're in the computer game?
Yeah.
The two dons?
Yeah, the two dons.
Yeah.
That episode messed with my whole spirit. I don't even know why, yeah?
That's the metaverse though, isn't it?
That is the metaverse. That is the metaverse.
Remember what you just said about going there and being something completely different? They went in
My
there
man was a girl. And he was a girl and he was like, I'm not going to lie, man.
Yeah, you're all right.
No! Hey, it moved to me. I was like, oh my God, no, wait, what go on for this year? Because in the thing, the men are straight. In the game, they're straight.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? But in real life, it's two dons. But that's the metaverse.
No, in real life, they're straight.
Well, technically.
In real life, they're straight. This is what is the interesting conversation.
Yeah,
because were they?
Because I feel like those relationships were just delos.
Right. Some girl messaged me the other day. She was saying to me, she told me about something that her partner likes in the bed, which made her question him. Yeah, and I said to her, I responded by saying, it's not the sexual act that makes a person bisexual or gay. It's the thought. It's the thoughts that are going on in your consciousness.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? Like the act is not. That's nothing. Yeah. And so we was having a conversation about that because I said to her like, he might be doing this thing. No, you might be doing this thing that you think is questionable, but in his mind, he's so turned on at the fact that you're doing it.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? It's not that he's thinking about an next man.
Yeah.
You could be giving him neck. You could be giving him neck, and then he could be thinking about a next man.
Yeah.
But because you're giving him neck, you're not thinking that there's anything questionable there. But in his mind is somewhere else. In that game, in real life, they seem straight, but what is happening in the game is their consciousness essentially.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%. But then I think it's the only one it becomes a little bit weird for is the don that had to be the girl.
Oh, that's true.
That's it. Like, the other dude's probably thinking, got my wife in real life.
Yeah, I've got my wife in real life.
And I got the wifey in the game.
And I'm chopping Chung Lee. Man said I got my wife in real life and I'm chopping Chung Lee
on the side.
Yeah. What?
Since she was on my poster on the wall. What? Yeah. I'm living.
Well, anyway, look, boom. It's the checkup. We're back. Look, it's mad. It's been a long while since we did this, yeah. And like, anytime I'm back, I'm just back with substance. We have to be back with substance. It's Callum on the cam. You already know. This person I've sat down and had a conversation with on my pod before. We've sat down and we've seen each other in life and just encountered conversations with both UFC fans and that as well.
Major,
you know what I mean? Can't forget that.
Yeah.
Koji, how you doing, my brother?
I'm very well, man. I'm very well. Thank you for having me. Yeah, I've been excited. I've been looking forward to this. You know what I'm saying?
How are you, bro? How are you, my bro? Like,
great question. I'm well. I'm good. I think I'm at a good point in life. I think at any which point somebody asked me that, I wonder if the artist curse is negating my ability to just actually understand that my life is all right.
The artist curse?
Yeah, of constant dissatisfaction.
Right.
I was having this conversation the other day with Saffron Hoken. Or Hoking? Saffron. I was having a conversation with Saffron. And she plays Lauren on Top Boy.
Right.
And obviously, the show's gone amazing for her. And then she done Moon Knight as well and all of these kind of things. And every time I'd speak to her about something she was doing, I'm gassed for her. I'm like, oh my God, you just done this and this and da-da-da-da-da-da. She's like, yeah. And then she'd turn around and do the same thing for me. She'd be like, oh my God, your thing just dropped. Like, your Daily Duppy just dropped. Or da-da-da-da. And I'm like, yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? And we kind of had to stop and go, what? Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? What is that?
Like, you're praising each other.
Yeah.
And you're receiving the praise, but you're like, yeah, I'm a little bit off that a little bit.
Yeah.
On to the next thing.
Yeah.
Which is a problem. That's obviously a big problem. We all do that sometimes as creatives, isn't it? We're always just trying to like, this has happened. Okay, cool. What next? At what point does that stop?
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, does it ever stop? I think if you ask a 16-year-old me what's your life gonna be like in 10 years plus or whatever, like, and it's this, he's gassed.
Massive.
Do you get
Massively.
me? He's gassed. And then ask me now, I'm like, a couple of things I've got to get done. Do you know what I mean? Like, is that adulting? Is that what that is? Scary? Don't like it.
It's weird, isn't it? It's like the ambition, innit? Sometimes ambition clouds our judgment, man.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sometimes ambition clouds the judgment because it's like as you said, you're 16, you think to a point of like, rah, I would love to be able to do this in my creative field. Then you do that and then you go on to the next ambitious thing, not thinking about the moment and being as present as you could be.
Yeah.
Because if you are present, if we're present more and really had a deep understanding of what was going on, then our mentality would shift a little bit. But it's hard to do that when there's so much going on.
Yeah.
And there's so much different levels of achievement that sometimes it makes you feel like your achievement isn't enough.
Yeah, 100,000,000%. And I think even this album probably made me realize that the most because I avoided albums solely for the purpose of not becoming too emotionally invested in the outcome. Do you know what I'm saying? So like anyone could tell me, oh, Catch My Tears is an album or In God's Body is an album, and I go, yeah. But I know why I didn't make them albums. Because it wasn't about not being musically ready. It was about not being mentally and emotionally ready to deal with what a successful album looks like in comparison to a non-successful album. And especially in an independent state where I'm literally covering the losses. Do you know what I'm saying? I just was not the time. Do you know what I'm saying? So
what was it? What is a successful album? What does that look like to you? Because this is actually why I wanted to start here. Actually, is because we're gonna like really deep dive into the album and that, yeah. But I remember the album came out. I sat and I listened to the album. I really enjoyed the album, yeah. And then there was the push, obviously, like for you to hit that, getting that number 10 mark, yeah. And then it didn't happen, and you seem really, really disheartened about that, yeah. And I'm like, as someone who checks for Koji, as much as that's what I want for you, we are here solely for the music. Do you get what I'm saying? Everything else is just a massive bonus. Can you deliver on that? Like, I don't put you in the same category as the noise. Do you get what I'm saying?
I'm appreciative of that because you actually rang me when everything was happening, and it was a dope conversation to even know that you was checking for me and the music in that way. Because, how do I explain it? Okay, so I've never made any piece of music, any album, any project with the intention of like trying to make us go at the charts or trying to quantify its success in that way. And I've made Reason to Smile, and it's traveling behind the scenes. And do you get me? Because I made Reason to Smile a little while ago now. And maybe right up until a month before the album's about to drop, everything's still about the fact that this piece of music is incredible. And then it's like, oh, he might have a chance. And then the focus changes.
Right.
So now everybody around me is working towards the top 10 position. And I'm obviously at the front of the train. It's the Koji train. So I'm trying to keep everyone, get me in it. I'm tricking myself to get into it as well. Even though I know it's not like, I've never in my life woken up and gone, oh, check the news, check YouTube, check the charts. I've never done it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's never occurred to me as an important thing to know where the state of music's at. But now I'm in. Now I'll get the first week back and I'm at X, Y, and Z position. And it's like, oh, okay, we could do this. Do you know what I'm saying? So now I'm in. Like, let's go. And then some things happen behind the scenes with Babylon that I can't explain because Babylon will sue me. So, but that meant I knew what position I actually ended in, and then what position came out to the public.
Right.
Do you see what I'm saying? So my reaction, what people are seeing, is a reaction to knowing things behind the scenes.
Right.
Not because I'm sad that I got number 11.
Okay.
Do you see what I'm saying? So like the best way to describe it is, let's say now you're running a race and you actually finish like third, yeah? And then someone goes, oh, like, actually, no, we don't trust the watch that was counting your time. So you actually finished 8th.
They tried to get you on some type of technicality.
Right. So where I know that, I'm like, that stings a bit. Because even with Babylon trying to do what Babylon does, man was still only 18 copies from number 10.
Okay, yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like a handful away from what they was trying to stop me from getting.
Right.
Do you get me? So it was a mixture of like, oof, what a way to finish the race kind of thing. But it literally took me like a couple of days.
Did it take a lot out of you?
I was tired.
Yeah.
I was tired, man. Like again, I think I've been working on the album from Wade. Do you know what I'm saying? From lockdown. And then we start the campaign late last year, going into this year. So throughout the whole lockdown, coming out of the lockdown, dropping the album, I've had no breaks. Do you know what I'm saying? Still haven't had one. I'm still on go mode. No breaks. Then you've got that rush of the first week. Bear in mind, this sounds like, again, man wasn't happy. Never in a million, trillion, gazillion years did I expect the level of support that the UK showed me that week. It, like, I was grateful to the point of tears, boy. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, like, do you know what I'm saying? I've always felt like an outsider.
Yeah.
Always felt like an outsider. So to see the amount of love man was getting, like, I can probably count that as a time I've cried, and when my son was born as a time I've cried. Do you know what I'm saying? And that wasn't even the day he was born. It was a couple of days later when I realised, man's in it now.
Yeah.
But like, it was overwhelming. Do you know what I'm saying? And it was amazing. And I felt like because of all of a sudden man's got this support and I've got everyone riding for me, I felt like I had to bring back a win. Forgetting that the music is the win.
Right.
Do you see what I'm saying? Like what we managed to do with this project in terms of just putting it together the way that we did, especially in the UK context, very difficult to do because everything becomes about what is popular and how can we closely attach ourselves to what is popping right now.
Facts.
I think the album was a massive learning curve for me in so many ways, and still is. You know, I think so much of how music's put out these days is it's there to trick you into thinking that music expires after the first week.
Well, this is it, and I think as well, like the thing that you mentioned as well about like bringing back the win in that form then puts you into a game that you was never a part of.
Yeah.
You didn't need to be a part of that.
Yeah.
Now you end up being a part of these conversations that you don't even need to be a part of. Like these, and I say this respectfully, but conversations that have no substance to it. They're not based on a place of loving of music at all. What I also understand is that when you actually start to see something that seems achievable,
that's the only difference.
The perspective just changes a little bit, and you think, oh, you know what? All right, let me just run to that.
Yeah.
Let me see what that looks like.
That's literally it. It was with In God's Body, 23 Winters, Cashmere Tears. Fam, I knew from the jump it was not possible for me to reach even near any chart position, top 40. I just knew it weren't possible. I knew the projects was gonna do well.
Yeah.
I knew the projects was gonna tour great and they would stream well over a long period of time, etc., etc. Yeah. But I knew they was never getting into the charts. With Reason to Smile, it's like before even release week, it's like, oh no, I think that could get top 10.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing that for more than just like...
It stays in your brain.
And it stays in your head.
Right.
Do you get me? And then And then whatever happens now. So you know what happens, like you personally, you know what happens, but everyone else can't see that.
Right.
So even in the process of sitting down and having to explain, okay, yeah, guys, we did sick, we got the number 11, my brain is still thinking of the fuckery behind the scenes
Right.
that I can't say.
Yeah.
Do you get me? So like, that's what everybody was seeing on my face and in my demeanor was what I knew that I couldn't say.
Right.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And a part of me almost wishes that I just took a day. You know what I mean? I just took a day and just did my thank yous the next day. Because even though the next day I might have still been a bit like, okay, it would have been nice to get the 10 spot, I was calm the next day. Do you get it? Like, it's just, I did that. I remember, I think even that day I had something else to do later that day. So I find that early. I find that at like 8 a.m. or something like that. And then, but it doesn't drop online until like 5 p.m. So from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., I already know what's happened, but I'm seeing the tweets. I hope Koji gets the 10 spot today. And I can't say nothing. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm just waiting. And people are like pre-congratulating me and like, I remember somebody sent something to my house that was like, congrats on the number 10, because they was just expecting it to happen. Do you get me? So there was just so much that by the time I've sat down to make the video to say like, okay, cool, we got to number 11, I was just carrying so much. And I think it's a catch-22 in a sense where I don't like being fake in a sense where I'm only ever gonna show everybody just me super happy all the time. Yeah, I'm happy, oh great. Like, I'm a normal person that goes through emotions. But at the same time, everyone was backing me, you know? And I wish I could have shown them my appreciation before I showed them my sadness about the industry. Nothing to do with the everyday person that came from work, finish their shift, rush down to Shoreditch to get down to my store to pick up free copies for mum, dad and sister. And do you get me? And like people that was queuing up in the rain to be at the meet and greets and the signings. And I remember I was in Kingston and I'm sure she couldn't have been no older than 7 or 8 in the front row singing lyrics. She takes off her hairband and gives it to me. Mid-show, I put the hairband on. I'm like, because my hair was in my face. And like moments like that, I wish I could have just shown people my gratitude for that. Do you see what I'm saying? Because that's why I make the music.
But I think on the flip side of it, it's good to show normality.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? Because I think that's the next thing with artists is that like you're actually always supposed to be happy and you're just always supposed to just show massive levels of gratitude. Yeah. But you don't always feel like that. I think you're gonna go through, and that's why, like the premise of me actually in the beginning asking you like, are you okay, was more from the fact of not just that, but I noticed that you took a little time off. Like you was like, you know what, like I saw that you tweeted and was like, I'm switching my phone off for a bit. And I was going to shout you, but I thought, nah, you know what?
Phone's off.
Yeah, the phone's off. Exactly. The phone's off and that. But sometimes you just need that moment anyway. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But that came from a place. And I tie that into almost you mentioning just that constant, that level of dissatisfaction. Like, you're proud of the work. Of course, so super much. Proud of the work. Proud of the work.
I had to take a break from social media. I had to take a break from social.
Wow.
Because I was losing track of me. I don't care about this stuff, bro. I care about art, music, vibes, and culture. And how I can contribute to that.
Right.
Solely. Do you see what I'm saying? So, for as much as I could be next to X, Y, Z that can bring man clout and fame and da-da-da-da, you will always see, man, in the small rave, small show, 30 people in the crowd, I'm one of them. Looking at the Don I just found on Spotify the week before that's got 250 listeners. Where's his show at? I'm going there. Do you see what I'm saying? That's the type of person I am. That's the places that people find me. I avoid the big stuff so much. Do you know what I'm saying? Because to me, I think back to like early SoundCloud days when it would be me, Mira May, Sam Henshaw, Jay Prince, Ray Black, House of Pharaohs when they was young, no mustache or none of them. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, when the scene was like, no one really clocked what any of this could be. Do you see what I'm saying? That's what I remember. That's what I'm always looking for in the next generation. Whoever's popping sick, great. What's happening though? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, what's happening? I had to get back to that. I had to get back to like.
I think that's the fact, because you mentioned about like always considering yourself an outsider. Like, can you not see the value actually in that as well?
Yes and no. I find the value in it in terms of me. Like, I wouldn't have it any other way. But then you go, all right, cool. Now, from an industry perspective, how is that conversation around Kojey approached?
Right.
And it's always with this idea of he's separate or he's underrated or he's underappreciated. Do you get me? And it's like, those are the names I got to wear within an industry context.
And then they don't know how to deal with that.
Exactly.
They don't know how to they don't know how they can make business work out of that.
Exactly. But then business has always been good for me.
Right.
I'm just not it's like the most people will see me showing off is my outfit.
Yeah,
and that's just because I put it together. Do you see what I'm saying? But people wouldn't know what I've got. Do you see what I'm saying? Because
that's not your thing though. You obviously dress flamboyant, but your thing is not that.
At all.
And I think the moment that you start doing that is the
It'll
moment,
be
again,
weird.
you start end up jumping into these other conversations that you don't even, that is
Don't
not,
need to be
you
there.
don't need to be there.
Yeah,
I was reading something and it said, I feel like everything I was celebrated for in the beginning is slowly moving towards feeling outdated.
I said that. Hey, that sounds great. I wonder what version of Koji said that. He was right.
Why? What would make you say that?
Times have changed, bro. Like, again, when I came into the game, like when I literally came into the game, we're now talking back in 2012, 13. This was when every culture was DIY. Whether it was grime, hip hop, alt, punk, everything was DIY. And again, you had the SoundCloud thing going on. But also, every show that was popping was a variety show. Do you get it? So you'd get booked for a show. So I get booked for a show, but normally as a poet, right? But on the lineup, there'd be a comedian, there'd be a singer, there'd be a rapper, there'd be someone else. Do you get me? Like a dancer, whatever. Those were normally the shows that was popping and actually getting scenes to mingle. And do you get me? So stepping into those places, I was the poet. So I'm performing and I'm delivering things different. It's catching on. We rate him, he's sick. Cool. But then now I want to do music. And I wanna put more of a rhyme structure to things and all that kind of stuff. Quote unquote rapping. I'm a rapper. Rap is rhythm and poetry. I want to rap. You're not a rapper, man. You're the poet, man. You're separate. You don't even have to do them things there, bro. Like, as if to say rapping was the negative. Do you see what I'm saying? And then it's like, all right, cool. I don't hear the noise anyway, so I'm going to do what I want. Cool, I'm going to go into more rap, but actually I'm more influenced by jazz and soul and elements of like indie and, do you get me, and things like that. So I want to throw that in the music, and it's like, sick, that's cold, nah, that's hard, you should do that, da 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 da. And then it's like the sound changes and everyone's on this. So then they're like, again, it's another separatism thing. It's like, Koji's over there. Do you see what I'm saying? So everything I'm doing right is pushing me further away from what's happening. Do you see what I'm saying? And again, people will say, that's a good thing. But when you're the one walking the long road, again, I always say it's okay to get tired. Don't stop walking. And if you're gonna if you need to take a sit down for a couple minutes, but get to the end, but you're human. Do you see what I'm saying? And I'm aware of these things. I'm hyper aware of these things, which is why I just stay in my world, and especially with Reason to Smile, a lot of that was staying in my world and then inviting everybody into it. So I go away whenever I make albums or projects or whatever. I go to the sticks. Cashmere Tears, I think we was in Ship Lake, and Reason to Smile, we was in Oxford.
Right.
But I think this is probably Cashmere Tears times when I was thinking this way, because I knew Cashmere Tears was my last chance at making a full length, whatever the fuck, and getting away with not calling it an album.
Yeah, I hear that.
I knew that was my last chance.
Yeah.
So it was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna go away. This is gonna be the smallest group ever. It was like me, Swindle, Q, KZ, Mike, Amaray, Maverick Saber came down. We had musicians and people just popping in and out and all that kind of stuff. And but I knew I wasn't gonna have. I basically wasn't gonna have no features on that project.
Wow.
So it was gonna be like, this is me setting myself up to establish what I think is now the next phase of what the Koji sound is. Anyway, do the project, sick. I'm leaving Ship Lake, and I remember for most of the journey back, I'm listening to Cashmere Tears. Like, you leave the studio, of course, rinsing it, boom, rinsing it, until we kind of got maybe into London. And I was like, all right, cool, I've heard it enough now. Let's hear the radio. Rookie mistake. Rookie mistake. Because in my mind, I've created this sound. I'm like, yeah, this is, like, hopefully, if this slides in with what's going on, we're lit, we're going to the moon. And the radio comes on, and I think it was like back to back. I think must have heard, what was it? Like, what was popping at the time? I think they were still playing Barking by Rams.
Oh yeah, I know that sort of era.
That era.
Like, yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And that's nothing to Rams or nothing like that. But it was just like...
That was a sound that was sort of fully being pushed at that moment. Like, exactly. Best Life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That whole vibe. And I'm like, I might have fucked up.
Nah, see, that's mad, bro.
That's how my brain works sometimes.
Yeah. But that's not... I don't expect that from a Kojey. And but the thing is, I understand it because it's... All of these are components in the game. Radio is a part of the component in the game. And in some way, you want to be able to have a slice of that in some form. For whatever reason that may be. But again, there's certain people that I go to that I don't go to for that. Do you know what? I'm gonna exaggerate a point to make a point, yeah? And hopefully this makes sense to what I'm saying here, yeah? But like, I always say to people, just on a base, like, whatever you do, don't make music for the wider audience, yeah? Because the wider audience don't want what the wider audience wants.
Yeah, they're not the tastemakers.
They want culture. Do you get what I'm saying? And culture is divided into a few different things. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, from a music aspect, culture musically is this, culture is musically that, and it is this as well. And sometimes it depends on where you fit in, but as long as you're providing to the core, then you're good. Do you get what I'm saying? But to ever think about the wider audience, yeah, even though there's a business element to it, the wider audience don't want what the wider audience wants. They just want what culture is, and they will tap into whatever part of culture that they might relate to or that they might like in some way, shape or form. And each part of this culture, whether it's divided into 3 parts, 4 parts or 10 parts, yeah, each part has its turn. Do you get what I'm saying? Each part has its turn. Remember, you look at like grime, for example, look what that, you know what I mean? There was like a moment where that was just going completely mad. Now you're look at the road rappers.
For like every 6 months, somebody just comes out and goes, "Grime is dead!"
Oh yeah, no, that's not. But we're not even doing that.
Like a jester in a court.
We're just not even doing
ding,
that.
Ding, 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 the king has said, "Grime has perished."
But you know what I think is what, even with that, without getting into a conversation about that, it's such a buzzword now that makes conversation that it's like people will always be able to mention that to get some type of attention.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? Because it divides opinion and everyone leans to it, and then it just becomes a whole thing.
Yeah.
So now I always know if I want to get some type of attention,
Just say the
this
whole
is what I
genre's
can
dead.
right. But in these different aspects of what music is provided out of the culture that we are in, each bit has its turn in different forms.
Yeah.
And I guess it's always keeping the perspective of what that looks like. But then at the same time, you know what? Could be stuck between a rock and a hard place. Let's go here.
Me just talk, huh? Stuck between a rock and a hard place. Stones in my timepiece. Please don't watch face. This room got elephants in it. Tough crowd, long day. Can't please everybody. Can't trust anybody. This game wasn't ready for me. Still got some readies for me. It's cool, man, I'm ready for it. Path wasn't steady for me. I walk different. Ain't code switching, I talk different. Revolutionary, my thoughts different. You man are Old Spice with the horse missing. Fucked up my transmission. Waiting to transition. Lost in translation. My feet in a damnation. You really think the chains were free? This ain't the kind of pain that you came to see. Well, I put a stack upon my trauma cause my trigger finger itch. Chatty patty on the plate, I had to make a meal of it. Pick another brave face, start my day and deal with it. Think they want another hit and I'm the dealer.
I was gonna say, do you know what's mad, bro? I don't do many interviews. And do you know what's funny about it? Most of the interviews I do, if people check, and I come back to do interviews, I'm talking to the same people. Do you see what I'm saying? Because I put so much of what I'm trying to say in the music. And I feel like the whole first portion of this conversation is in that verse. Do you see what I'm saying? It's literally in that verse. And the context of that song is what we've been talking about. The context of the song is about the industry.
Wow.
Do you see what I'm saying? So I'm completely aware that hip hop or black culture will predominantly be sold on the ideas of violence, sex, self-degradation, drugs, etc., etc., etc. And radio, TV, media are going to be more willing to push that first before you can knock down the door with common sense or just speaking about a different way of looking at certain things. You know what I'm saying? People call it conscious, call it whatever you want, who cares? As the author, when you're rapping certain things, it's all make-believe. Do you get me? Think about how many artists will tell you that they don't even take the drugs they rap about.
I know.
Do you see what I'm saying?
I heard, was it Future mentioned that recently? Yeah.
It's all make-believe. Do you see what I'm saying? So, but you're the author.
Yeah.
So, now if you flip that context to, I always put things in the perspective, like I always think about when I'm talking to the youngers. When I'm in Hoxton, I'm talking to the youngers, I'm trying to make them understand something. I have to put it in a way that they get. And sadly, it's like, okay, cool. As the author, take the word author and say, okay, as the shotter, as the pusher now. You've come up on a product. This product's moving. Do you see what I'm saying? It's moving. You're thinking, rah, I'm the man now. But you're aware of what it's doing to you as the pusher, as the author, and now what it's doing to the world. Do you see what I'm saying? And it's this constant conflict where the song breaks down and you get BWY, where it's like the hyper reality of all of these things, you know. And I found myself in that position of going, knowing my ability to write and paint a picture and versatility to be able to jump on any genre. Man could talk the talks of what's being spoken about out there, you get it? And like, but what is adding to that do? Do you know what I mean? Like, my contribution is not going to change the world. Do you see what I'm saying? If I was to now just start drilling tomorrow, who cares? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, in the long line of looking at a career and looking at a catalogue, I think about moments and verses and perspectives. Do you know what I'm saying? And I'd rather have that. So sometimes that might create the longer road, you know. Like you've got to meander down that path if you want it.
I like, even as well, like, there's like a common theme actually, even amongst the album of like, with your mum, you know, you hear her voice in it, and then there's like elements of other realizations that you're having, even as a man, where you're...
My mother's voice always felt like home. But eventually you're outside, on your own. The scariest thing about raising a boy is learning when you become a man, that target on your back is a little bit more permanent than a tattoo. You have to learn quick. Real quick.
Yeah. What's crazy about that bit is that there was another voice note from my mum in that spot, at that position, in that moment of the song. And she was talking about my brothers and sisters. And she said, for whatever reason, no matter what, even if she had to be outside in a nightie, cold as hell, she couldn't sleep until my brother was back in the yard. My sister was back in the yard. There was something about that was like, we had there originally, and then I felt like the album needed my perspective of now being a dad myself. And I got a little boy, and I think when you're looking at a baby or a toddler or whatever it is, it's like all you're seeing is innocence, and there's like this looming like fear of like, however long I can keep this for you, I'm gonna try to keep this for you. Do you know what I mean? But there's a day where you're gonna know what the world's like.
Yeah.
And what the world's like for you. And there's nothing I can do to stand in the way of that.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? So there's a lot of like, Reason to Smile is a deeply complicated and complex body of work given to people in a way that's very digestible.
Yeah.
I don't want them to be overwhelmed by the fact that there's a lot to take in. But like, the ending of Cashmere Tears is where Reason to Smile starts.
Even from a bar.
Yes, literally from like the end of the last bar of Cashmere Tears, that project is on the beginning of Reason to Smile. But then Reason to Smile in itself loops round on itself. So if you was just listening to Reason to Smile, from top to bottom, it just does a full circle. It will just keep going round. The beginning is answered by the end of this album. And then in terms of a second listen, you can listen to the album the second time round in the perspective of my son now growing up.
Right.
Do you see what I'm saying? And him coming to that realization for himself rather than me coming to that realization for him. Do you see what I'm saying? So on the album cover, you see me with my mum and you see him walking towards his mum. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, these paths are the same and you're still looking for this sense of guidance and this acceptance. Do you know what I'm saying? He's gassed, arms wide, because he's just learning how to walk. That's an achievement for him. This is like, Mum, look, I can take my own steps. Them same steps are gonna walk you into that world and you're gonna learn about it. Do you see what I'm saying? And as an adult, you still want that parental acceptance, or, do you know what I'm saying? That like, Mum, I'm okay, look, I'm flying.
And is it also as well, like, is you're a son of an immigrant essentially, and as when you get older, you do start to see things differently, and like in regards to what it must have been like for them to come here and make that sacrifice. It's a massive thing.
Huge.
Yeah, I think she even mentioned she came here. She didn't have anyone here.
Yeah, no.
She didn't come here, and it was all like not even just a sacrifice for you, but it was for family even back home.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you actually like, when you actually really look at that and see how deep that is and how different your life could have been.
Yeah. It's mad because, for example, like when we was doing the gangster video, I couldn't, normally like I'll take the lead in terms of, again, like creative direction or art direction or working directly with the director, like the film director, in order to execute whatever vision it is that I had. For the gangster video, I couldn't do it. And I remember, and I was saying to everyone, I was like, it's because I was there, but I was young. Do you see what I'm saying? So my sister actually ended up co-directing the gangster video because she was there. And the young lady that plays my sister in the music video is my sister's daughter. It's my niece.
Right.
Do you see what I'm saying? And because I kept saying, all I remember is knowing that no matter what, we didn't go without, because whether it was the morning shift, the afternoon shift, or the night shift, my mum was going to work. Do you see what I'm saying? But then within that, you got to look at how a family now shapes around that. Do you know what I mean? Because in an ideal world, my mum would kick back. She don't want to go work 3 jobs, but she's got to provide. Do you see what I'm saying? And what does that now do to children growing up? How do they understand that or perceive that? And like, I didn't register the amount, because you know, in the back of your mind, you know, you go, oh, my mum works hard. But you don't know how hard things are until you become an adult yourself. Do you see what I'm saying? Let alone a parent. Like, do you see what I'm saying? It's like, you start going, oh man, warrior. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
Soldier.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it.
Yeah.
But
She did it though.
yeah.
I think my mama was a hustler and had to double up. Felt the love when she was tough with us, I had to toughen up. Think my daddy's still in love with her, but not in love with love. Didn't get it till I got it, probably where I got it from. I dot my I's and cross my T's, but in the streets I'm troublesome. Did my best to keep it low-key, but my mama worrisome. I worry too, I worry when the trouble follow us. When I was scared, she gave me hugs, but knew she couldn't cuddle us. Cause it gets scary in this wild, wild world, but it's all I know. My mama told me that this life get cold, but it still goes on. I think my mama was a gangster. I think my daddy was a rolling stone. I was looking for some.
Do you know what's mad? So this is one of them tunes, yeah, that I'll write and I get excited to hear crowds of people sing it because it's almost an anti-banger.
Okay, what do you mean by anti-banger? Like, it's not the one that's supposed to be the...
It's like, for example, I remember when I did that album announcement party, there were songs that had been out. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, War Outside had been out. Like, loads of songs had been out. Gangster was a fairly new tune at the time, but you could cut the beat off and people would sing the whole chorus, eyes closed, passionately. And the last time I think I had like a quote-unquote anti-banger was Can't Go Back. Because every show I like to stop and take a moment to really acknowledge the importance of directly speaking about and understanding mental health. And it's a very human moment between me and the audience. And the song will start, and by the time the chorus comes round, I've literally seen people break down in the crowd, in tears, like they're at church. Do you see what I'm saying? And singing passionately because the songs become too real. Do you see what I'm saying? That's what becomes the anti-banger in a certain sense, where it's like, yeah, cool, this isn't like boom, boom, boom. Like,
Yeah, I know what
do
you
you see what I'm saying? But you feel it. It's like Hey Mama is an anti-banger. Do you see what I'm saying? I know I act a fool, but let that spin in the right room.
Yeah, and it
everyone's
goes off.
off.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? Like,
and then there's a deep emotional connection to that as well in some way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Gangster's one of those tunes that like, it will go into my list of songs that I'm proud I wrote over my career.
Was the album called Cannot
Be Regret? Yeah.
Before?
Yeah.
So like, talk to me about what that was and what the name change was. Like, why you connected with the name change more.
Okay, I'll do that 1 sec. So basically, let me get it up. So there was a quote, and I remember going into the album making process with heavy writer's block. And shout out Charlie D. Placido. He texted me maybe like 3 hours after me getting to the camp. And he sent me a Fela Kuti quote. And it goes, "Everything I did wrongly was for experience. That's how I see it. Once a man is looking for better knowledge and he tries his best to be truthful in all his endeavors, then his life is just an experience and it cannot be regret."
Right.
And I remember just reading that over and over again. Going, that's it. Speak about your life, speak about your experiences, and leave no regrets behind. That's the MO of this album. That's like, if you're gonna leave here, you need to leave here empty.
Right.
Do you see what I'm saying? And so that was the motivation for the album the whole time I was writing the album. This quote. So for ages I was calling it cannot be regret, cannot be regret. All the abbreviations, CBR, CBR, CBR. And then doing the playbacks of the album, whether it was like friends, family, the label. And but yeah, so this is the album, Cannot Be Regret. Here's the first song featuring Tiana Major 9, Reason to Smile. And then someone somewhere in the room all the time, I said, Reason to Smile, that's a sick name. I was just like, because you know what happened? Cashmere Tears was never called Cashmere Tears.
Oh, for real?
It was called Numbers.
Okay.
And I was going to have all the songs named after numbers. So like 97, 25, 11. Like that was going to be the concept of Cashmere Tears. Songs based around numbers and numerology and all of that kind of thing. And like the fact that like on an old school jukebox, they'll be like, I'll play that number. Do you know what I'm saying? Like back in the day, that was like a reference point for playing the song, play that number. And then my boy's like, it's called Cashmere Tears, bro.
So there's almost like a theme of like, you've set out to do something and then at the last moment.
Yeah, someone goes, nah, you're doing that thing again where you're being too artsy. You're an artist.
I hear that.
Oh my God, cannot be regret.
No. Yeah.
Niggas want to smile, B.
Yeah. Do you know what though, yeah? What I will say is it's not even something that is super unfamiliar for you, but I definitely do enjoy as well, not just the element of growth that I see within you musically, yeah, but even like how emotionally open you can be at times.
Wake up, say a prayer and count a blessing night. Look inside the mirror, see a face that I don't recognize. Airways still polluted, revolution will be televised. Still can't watch the news, the politics look like a pantomime. Agents all around me trying to take my soul and weaponize. Still can't trust the soul, cause they might take the truth and improvise. Burned so many bridges recent, I can't even see the sky. Careful let the compliments, the devil come in new disguise. Nowadays it's do or die, unity need you and I. Hit the gram and do the most, act like everything is fine. Act like a brother don't bleed and a brother don't feel and a brother don't cry sometimes. Won't go back, no, can't go back to the feeling I really wanna die sometimes. Get some pussy, penetrate, blow a steam and medicate. If that don't work, I meditate. If that don't work, I hit repeat. If that don't work, I work on me. If that don't work, well, time will tell. If they won't say, I tell myself. Sometimes I'm not okay, and that's okay. Same shit, new day. I'll wear that crown, I'll bear that pain. I'll be okay, my money long, my people straight. Or so they say, I'll wear that smile, I'll be okay, I'll be.
Rex is hard, by the way. Even like,
It's the what did he say? He said, I know I can handle
yeah. His tone.
When he sent me back that verse, this whole song is crazy because arguably it's the second song I wrote for the album.
Okay.
Out of camp. So when this song was written, I'm still in lockdown. And the only song I have for the album at that point is Silk. And I remember finishing Silk and texting like my team essentially and saying, all right, guys, I'm going to make an album. And everyone jumps for joy because they know like I've been putting it off for the longest time. And then and I'm thinking, okay, how do I make this album? And I start going back and I start listening to old Koji. And I think, do you know what? That's what I need to do. Like, I need to like go back to the beginning. And a lot of people don't know that my first record that came out is a song called The Garden Party, and it's produced by an artist called Jay Prince. You know Jay Prince.
Yeah, man. Honorable shout out to Jay Prince.
Always and forever.
DJ'd for Jay Prince on numerous tours and stuff.
Yeah. And hit Jay, and I'm like, making an album, boom, boom, boom. He's like, okay, bet. Like, I got you. I'm gonna send you through a pack. He sends me through this beat, yeah, and this beat was like, there was nothing on it. It was a bass line and drums that boom, 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 boom. That's it, boom, boom, for 3 minutes. Listen to it for hours, just thinking, rah. And then one day, again, I think it was the spirit of lockdown. Man just wasn't feeling good. Do you get it? And like, I felt like I had to start there because I didn't want it to be another like, woe is me, I'm sad, I'm depressed, but more of an acceptance that like emotions are a wave and you got to go with the current. And sometimes the current is going to flow away from you. Do you know what I'm saying? And in that lockdown period, there was people that I would just call and check in with all the time. Masego was one of them. Rex Life Raj was one of them. With Rex, what was interesting is that we had so many conversations that when I've sent him the song, I didn't need to tell him what the song was about. I didn't need to tell him.
He was just tapped in straight.
It's like, bro, that song is our phone calls.
Right.
Do you see what I'm saying? Like, if you can just imagine that on the phone, like if there was a music video to that song, it'd just be me on the phone to Rex, stressed, talk like, bro, like this is what's going on, and he'd be like, yo, this is what's going on for me. Do you know what I'm saying? Boom, and that's it. And I think as much as yes, like the song's good for the fact that it shows a vulnerable side, it shows a vulnerable exchange between two men.
Right.
And I think that's the more important, do you get me, takeaway, because I find a lot of people say it's hard to talk to other men about their emotions or how they're feeling as a man, because the expectancy is, you're right, man.
Yeah, man.
Do you know
You'll
what I'm
be fine.
Yeah, you're blessed, man. Do you know what I'm saying? So to actually open up in that way,
people die every day, B. You quoted that though.
Yeah. You die every day, B.
You'll be alright. But I guess in one sense, without even making it about me, is that I've been lucky, you know, in that like I've been, like sometimes like as you get older, you can grow away from your friends because your perspective on things change and the things that you're into can change. Whereas for me, that wasn't the case, even in conversation. So it's like when you're young and you come from a certain place and you're just like, you're just trying to keep up with these stupid ideologies or whatever, but you're feeling and thinking certain things, but you don't want to say nothing because you feel a little bit. It's almost like, okay, let's just say, eating pussy. Right? You're young. No one's that's the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
And then so now, and this worst thing in the world attitude is more comes from you being in and amongst the man them, because you almost feel like as the man them, we got to be aligned in something and we need to, and then you fall into a relationship with someone and your feeling feels. You get what I'm saying? Like your feeling feels, not even the feels of like, boom, that you just like this person, but you know what, like, you might be super low. You might be mad happy. You might have this going on with your girl, but also this going on at home with your mom and whatever, and you can't really speak about it so much until you get to that point, where you actually say something, and a man turns around and says, "You know what? I hear you. I was going through that too." Do you know what I mean? And I think as the older that I got with my friends, the closer we became because we was pushing back those barriers and boundaries in regards to our friendships and like what I felt like I couldn't say. Because when I'm saying that I'm feeling this way or that I like this or I hate that or whatever, enough of the time my man's relating to that in some way or advising me in a certain way. And it's a shame that I feel that as a whole, a lot of the time we feel like we can't really do that, because then what happens then? That we end up just like really being closed off with our feelings, and then they end up coming out in mad ways, which is a common thing that we talk about a lot.
Exactly. But I think it's breaking down those barriers and normalizing that conversation from earlier. So I think it's everything with like as you grow older, I think everything becomes a little bit easier because you've just lived more, so there's less fear of a public perception per se. But I think it's when you're young, it's like,
and that's why I think it's always important to have that section of artists here that could do that freely.
yeah, there's a few of us.
Yeah, and you serve regardless of the noise, regardless of where the noise is gravitating to. This serves a massive purpose, and the people that are supposed to be here will be here. Yeah. The ones that are here for the moment, they come, but then they just end up leaving with the other moment, and that's fine. That's okay.
Yeah, I think to in some degree, I think that's probably why I didn't want to be known for a genre.
Right.
Because it's that same thing with Graham. Someone could jump up and be like, Graham's dead. Do you know what I mean? Like, I wanted to be the genre. So it can't die until I'm dead. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the perspective. That's the goal in mind, is like, make something that's so uniquely you that it lives as long as you live, and then it lives on after you.
Where does your flamboyancy come from?
Who fuck knows? I'm about to sit here and go, I'm not flamboyant.
No, you're flamboyant.
Bright orange.
No, you're flamboyant.
Do you know what I'm saying?
You know what's weird? I'll tell you what is actually quite weird, yeah? Initially, not meeting you, I would feel like you dress flamboyant, but you just don't seem flamboyant at all. Not one bit.
Yeah.
But knowing you a little bit, I see the flamboyancy side even in you as well. I'm like, where does that come from?
Who the hell? I think there's a point in it where you're a young man or a young teenager where your concentration is fitting in. Do you know what I'm saying? I want to fit in. And then you just go, fuck that. I want to break free. I want to do my thing. And I'm a strong believer in, if you build it, they'll come. So in the process of me trying to fit in, I always felt lonely. And then in the process of me being myself, people everywhere. Can't get rid of people. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so where it comes from, I couldn't name a specific thing or whatever. It's just like, it's letting my personality go. Do you know what I mean? And even throughout my career, I was always around people that wanted me to keep a lid on it. They wanted me to be the mysterious one. Oh, you're going to be the social political rapper. You're going to say important things. You're going to make these hard hitting videos and don't say nothing. No, in the interviews, we're going to move like this. And in my brain, I'm just like, do you know what I mean? I'm chilling more time, man. I'm on a little tequila buzz more time. You know what I mean? I've got something strapped up.
Yeah, I hear that.
But after this,
man, brother, and you're talking when you want to talk.
Yeah, need no introductions. They know who we are. Big black man from Ghana, step forward like I'm in Nkrumah. Who job bless, no man can curse, woke up like goodness gracious. I still pray for freedom, bro, still got pending cases. Bad energy contagious, miss me with it, I just like my space. Still no love for a pagan, too much trust, nearly got man snaked. Serpents moving circles, I keep mine the tightest. The wisest move in silence, and this kickback Leonidas. Grew up in the dungeon, city run by tyrants. Had to keep it stepping, cause this path we took was righteous. No problem burning bridges, I just cool and push my lighter. Focus now, I'm fearless. Don't try me, try Jesus. Serious.
They be talking, I be walking. Throw shade on my name, step with caution. You be stalking, I been bossing. Scooped up some more land, cause I'm flossing. Gonna make
talking.
Khalees.
Yeah.
How did, like, what? Like, where, how, what? Where did you...
Listen, honestly...
Did you shout Nas on it?
Yeah, no, I popped into Sweet Chicks. I said, Nas. playing. Khalees, I'm playing. I had a vision board. True story. I had a vision board. And I said on the vision board, Khalees is going to be on my album. At this point, I had no idea if she was still making music. I had no way of contacting her. Didn't know anyone that knew her. Just said, I'm going to have Khalees on my album. Originally, I thought I was going to have Khalees on Payback with me and Nux, yeah. Something about that song was giving me like, hey, daddy, Hey, I get you, man.
100.
Do you know what I mean? Just
Yeah,
with
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Bump, 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 bump.
Yeah,
I can
yeah,
just
yeah.
hear that. So that's what I was envisioning. Again, no real way of making it happen at all. Like, not even close. And then, and one day, literally out of the blue, my manager texts me and he's like, have you got the beat for Talking? Khalees wants to get on it. And I called him a dirty, stinking liar for about 2 months straight. I was like, get out of my face, bro. Like, why would you even lie about something like that? That's weird, bro. Like, leave me alone. No, we don't know Khalees. Why would she get me like, how has she heard this tune?
Yeah.
What's going on? I was onto him daily. I was onto him. And then it was slowly getting to that point where like,
I'm
okay.
listening. Go on.
It was slowly getting to that point where it's like, okay, actually this might be real. And then KZ flies. KZ's my producer. KZ and Swindle are my main 2 producers. KZ flies to LA, and then he texts me and he's like, I think he was like, hit up Swindle, get the beat for Talking. Khalees has come to the studio today. I'm at dinner. Bear in mind, I'm at a dinner thing and I've taken my hair out. Half my hair is out.
Oh my God.
I'm like, what?
You said you got there looking like a proper rude boy.
Like, as in, I looked like, you know when Kendrick came back for and he had the crazy way he just was rocking the thing.
Yeah.
I look like that, bro. I'm at dinner, I'm like, to my bro, I'm like, yo, I think Khalees might be on my album, bro. He's like, when's that happening? He goes, bro, right now, I got a cut. So I mash my food up, throw my cut out the studio, I'm texting Casey, I'm like, yo, as soon as I get back to the yard, I'm gonna FaceTime you, I wanna chat to her. I'm sitting in the yard, and you know when you set up the FaceTime, and you get the first glimpse of you? Bro, I wanted to die, bro. There she is sitting in front of me. I'm like, we was chatting we spoke for a good little while.
Yeah, do you know, I love them surreal moments, man.
Yeah, man.
I did the checkup with Angel, and there's a part where he's talking about Brandy. And you know, obviously, like Brandy meant that, like Brandy is an artist as well that meant something to him.
So much, yeah.
And so, like, even having them moments of like, wow, we're in a studio together, and in some way you're being guided by me.
Yeah. It's weird.
Weird.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like, even with that, it was like, I was A, shocked she picked that tune. I was B, shocked that she wanted to do a tune with me anyway.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And every conversation I've managed to have with her, she's literally one of the sweetest, most, like, and people say that about people they've worked with all the time, but she's so sweet. She's so lovely. She feels like your homegirl from back in the day. That's how quickly, like, she'll just switch on to conversation and you're just going back and forth and you're laughing and everything's gravy. And she was very adamant that, like, let's say if we needed to do anything and somebody else asked her, like someone in the team, like management asked her, she'd be like, but if I asked, she'll do it. Because she values that artist-to-artist connection. Yes, everything else has to go through a million middlemen, but if it's something quick, boom, 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 she prefers
to get it done.
You get it. You know what I'm saying? So, and to be fair, I don't even feel like I'd have that feature on the album without Tiana. Like, I feel like Tiana's an unsung hero on this album.
Tiana as well, yeah. I swear, like, at some point, we're gonna have to start having a proper conversation about her.
Big facts. Anytime I people go, oh, who have you got on this album? I go, I've got the Grammy-nominated Tiana Major 9 on my album. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like, if I'm not mistaken, technically, she's Grammy Award winning now.
Yeah.
So I've got the Grammy Award winning Tiana.
Yeah. No, you say that,
and
she should be addressed
straight
as
like that. I listen. You know me. I'm on my fashion thing. I'm gonna make her a jacket. I'm gonna make her a jacket that says Grammy Award winning Tiana Major 9. Don't forget the 9.
No, she's proper. I recorded a conversation with her with JD as well. I'd like to, when she drops again, I wanna do this with her. Actually, I wanna do this with her. My favorite. Do you know what my favorite tune on the album is?
I feel like through literal bias, that has to be Beautiful.
I had to hit her on the phone, like, wait till I get home. Pour me some Patron, enough to get me in my zone. We can make a perfect storm if the weather nice. I could love you in the bonnet, cause you're leather nice. You serve it up, I put it down, I got an appetite. So what we eating, got a feeling you'll be satisfied. I could rap about this, but it's classified. I'd rather talk about your body under candlelight. She with the smoke, so we get higher than a satellite. Ooh, sookie, sookie, cause this nookie ain't no pillow fight. She pillow bite, and I get grateful when I'm gratified. If you don't mind, I need to run that back a second time. Cause
you're so beautiful, super beautiful. I got that back, going back, can't come back, right back.
So I'm supposed to stop it. Go on. What are you gonna say?
If I ever do a video to that, I'm getting.
You have to do a video to that. Yasmin
I
Evans,
want
yeah?
Yasmin Evans.
Is it?
Yeah.
I co-sign that one.
I want Yasmin.
Is it? Why?
Yasmin.
Why? Yasmin. I can make that happen, by the way.
Make it happen!
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna let her know. I'm gonna clip this up and send it to her.
Yeah, I want Yasmin Evans because I think whenever you make a song, there's always like it goes into the real world. Do you know what I'm saying? And you imagine it in different contexts and all of that stuff. Yeah. And I remember she was just having a nice weekend somewhere. I don't know if she was at home or she was somewhere, but she just kept posting her doing shit around the house, listening to that song. And I was like, that's what that song is.
I was supposed to just play that bit and just leave it as that, but I can't.
You can't.
Wine sipping, slow kissing. This is not a race, it's a love mission. Never talking when my mouth is sitting you down with it from the sounds that your body make. Go down, going no limit. Maybe go round, make it go missing. Swear it's been a hard minute. Can hear it in your sign when you're calling me. Baby, we can be good take 3, maybe 7 days. Just deeper than it's ever gone. You're so beautiful.
Sensational stuff,
Shaka's a
bro.
madman.
Such a talented brother. And he, as well, see, like all the stuff that I was saying to you as well, he's another one for me who just fits into that same. I always say it's like, irrespective of everything, yeah, I went to Shaka's live show and I just saw people there that just, there was no noise.
Yeah, just
do you get what I'm
love
saying?
music.
Like, it was just love, bro. And it's like, there's always something so different about, I've gone to shows in arenas.
Yeah.
I've gone to shows in arenas and it's like, oh, it's cool and it's a vibe,
Yeah.
but there's a lot of noise here.
Yeah,
do you get what I'm saying? There's a lot of, oh my God, nearly it's gonna sell out, I need to be here, or oh my God, it's so and so, I need to. There's something different where whether you go to a small show or whether you go to an arena show, but it's like just a different type of, people are there in unison for something different.
Yeah.
Do you get me?
Yeah.
And
Shaka is that. Like even
epitome.
I was conflicted because he just had his show. I was at the show, and I was with Nick, Barney, like on the balcony, like them man up there. Do you know what I'm saying? I was up there. I was with Governor.
Yeah.
Like all them man up on the balcony. We was singing our hearts out. I was with Quali. ATG was there. Oh, who else? Like that little section was vibing.
Yeah, proper.
Singing our hearts, and I was like, I was enjoying the show so much that I forgot I had to go out. So I'm running down the stairs, through the building into the back, grab the mic, come out, boom, done my little 16 and a hook.
Yeah.
Run straight back up to the balcony because
For the vibe again.
I need to, like, Shaka's one of those artists that, like, being in an audience watching Shaka is, like, an experience that it's very difficult to explain how good it feels to be surrounded by that much euphoria. Do you know what I'm saying? And that many people that just love music. And so much of being an artist these days is like, you show up, you're either in the VIP area or you're in the back the whole time, dry.
I know.
Do you know what I'm saying? I want to be in there. Do you get that?
Watch what happens when you touch that stage in Brixton.
Oh, Jesus.
You might not be able to feel that, but that's exactly how the people that are there are going to, that's how they're going to feel, bro.
Yeah, it's going
Trust
to be
me.
a good time. It's going to be a good time.
What does pressure look like for Koji? Like, what sort of pressure do you put yourself under?
So much. again, I think there's a lot of hidden pressures that come with being the captain of the ship, you know, and knowing that a lot of things are relying on you to continue, even when you feel like you can't, you know, and then at the same time representing and being something to enough people. I hate saying so many people because it sounds like but enough people, meaning something to people, means that there's a certain version of you that they expect. That makes you feel guilty on the days when you're not that. I think there's so much. There's like this pressure's a deeper one because I think ultimately it always comes down to having to wear that brave face and keep up appearances and smiles and the energy, you know, in the public space. But yeah.
How you gonna act when the cameras flash? Would you strike a pose? Would you double back? Can you withstand the pressure? And how you gonna move when no eyes on you? Could you walk a day in my shiny shoes? Can you withstand the pressure?
Can you?
Yeah, I can. I'm built like that.
Keep your heart, coach. Play your part. Even when it's hard, don't let them take your heart from you. Many men go missing. Friends might get to switching on you. Twitter fingers sneak dissing. Backstabbing incision. Brothers I would ride for. I don't know their new addresses. Mothers I would cry with. Even though I know who did it. Secrets I might die with. Couple masks I slide with. Way before the virus. Way before the mileage. God knows I've been trying. Getting every night in. Mama told me patience is the key and she weren't lying. Done with all the crying. Fussing and the fighting. Heavy is the crown, but I'ma wear it till I die. You're supposed to be the king. People still depending on you, even on your dark days. Keep a little love inside you, keep a little hope aside. Defend it like the back four, even when the devils try, even when your homie dies. Way before the summertime, dapper men another life. Niggas die every day, B. You'll be alright. If you stop, the money's stopping. We ain't going back.
Pain is the essence of the verse, man. I remember writing that song. It was actually, again, that was another song that was out of camp. And I had gone to a Shea Universe session to help out as a songwriter. So I'm a songwriter as well. I've been songwriting for a few years now. And we was writing this other song. We wrote this other song, this really beautiful like R&B ballad. Emil on production. Emil is a producer that I feel like...
He's cold.
Yeah.
He's cold.
He's really about to take over.
Yo, he produced a tune with A2. I can't even remember the name of the song.
I know exactly which one you're talking about.
The tune is mad.
Stupid.
And
yeah.
and also Bakerloo with Nux.
Bakerloo and Beg to Differ.
Beg to Differ.
Beg to Differ.
Yeah. There was the two of them, innit?
I think it's two of them,
Yeah, he's bad.
He's cold. He done, so Emil production on this on Reason to Smile is BWI, so the second half of Pusher Man is Emil. Pressure is Emil. And he had about 2 or 3 more that didn't make the album. Like whenever I'm in with Emil, it's like, yeah, we're churning them out. We had one that was some mad one with like Jay Prince that was like crazy. And we had another one it was called Tax Year, and it was like, I might still drop it, that one, but I was rapping bare slow, which is like weird for me. Anyway, long story short, I was at a camp for Shea Universe, was writing another record. This beat comes on, and I go out for a smoke, and I start writing this hook in my head. It's and I come back and I hum the melody to Shea, and but I want to know, like, here's a concept, but I want to know what you write to this. So I've given her the melody. She's like, how you gonna act when the cameras flash? Could you strike a pose? Would you double back? Could you withstand the pressure? Does that crazy run that she does, and I was like, and then the first thing that came to mind was Players Anthem. I don't know why. Like, it's the first thing that came to mind.
That's mad.
The first thing, it just reminded me of like this like moment of like, we're in the back, it's before the show or it's before the wedding, it's before whatever big moment it is, and your friend's in the back going, are you sure you could go out there? And he's like, yeah, man. Either I love her or I love this.
Right.
Do you get me? Like, I love this too much to not go out there. Do you see what I'm saying? So that's why that first line is, keep your heart cold, keep your heart. Because it's keep your heart, 3 stacks, keep your heart.
Right,
Do you see what I'm saying? Like, and there's loads of references like that sprinkled around the album. Do you know what I'm saying? Where whenever people ask me like, oh, what are your reference points? Or what, like, they're in the music. Do you know what I'm saying? Whether it's Slum Village, DMX, Andre 3000, Rick Ross, Kano, Gets, like Manga.
Yeah.
People don't even realize that
Yeah.
I gave Manga a whole shout out, top of the
Yeah,
verse.
yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? Like,
It was on the second verse of
Talking.
Right, Talking. Yeah.
Because these are people I respect and understand to be pioneers of micro genres. Do you see what I'm saying? And flying the flag for the forgotten.
Right. Where were you in regard to like your personal journey now? Yeah, like musically and personally.
Yeah.
Like, where do you feel like you're at now?
The next stage, I'm more confused than I've ever been. Because it's a weird one to explain. I was having this conversation with my sister yesterday where I've always had my core audience, always felt the love from them, never been dissatisfied with the love from my people. Do you know what I'm saying? And people that have been backing me from the very beginning. And then now it feels like I'm getting more industry acceptance. So I'm getting more calls to do this TV show, do this radio thing, do this, that, and the third. Sick. And then there's a part of me that sees me appear in certain pockets of the culture that would have excluded me before. Do you know what I mean? And not even stuff that I'm like, yeah, I want to be on this. Like, do you know what I mean? But like certain blog pages and things that I can see that. But then at the same time, I think there's a level of people thinking Kojey's gonna do well anyway, so I don't need to check it yet, or I'll get round to it, and it leaves me in this place where I constantly feel like I'm still trying to prove myself, and it's a weird stage to be at, because I think that drives me. Like, people just have to listen to my Daily Duppy to understand when I'm in that corner, I'm coming out swinging. Do you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's like I would love to feel more supported by the UK black culture scene, if that makes sense, and what comprises that, you know.
What does that look like?
I feel like I have enough of a catalogue and I've made enough of an impression to, again, just be included in that conversation. It's like, for example, I did my Daily Duppy, but majority of the reaction videos to my Daily Duppy are from Americans.
Right.
And like the UK ones just won't do it. Maybe they don't know who I am. I doubt it, but do you know what I'm saying? It's like, cool, whatever. I've got enough of a catalogue now where if somebody wanted to do a breakdown of, favourite Koji songs on an episode or whatever, you could do that. There's enough of a catalogue. Will it come up? Won't it come? I don't know. Probably not. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, but more things that bring the music back into the conversation. I don't mind if people want to talk about. I understand. Like, I'm a character or whatever, or people like me as a person. So like, if I come up, normally it's about me as a person. People will be like, I like him. He's a good guy. You get me saying? Like, show man love in terms of the person that I am. I just would love it to go back to the music. You know what I'm saying?
On a next deeper one, just quick, is that a close friend of yours passed away, or his life was taken away, and I know that would have been a difficult time for you, even when you add on to like some of the things that you go through, being a teenager that comes from the environment that you've come from. Have you now, over time, been able to feel strength from that now?
Yeah. I think death is a funny one, I think there's a part of you that's always gonna live in a state of unacceptance because you just want your person back. Whether that was your friend, family member, partner, whatever. You just want that person back alive. Whether it's for presence or conversation or guidance or whatever that is. But I think for me, especially when it comes to Harry, so much of what Harry was as a person was self-sacrifice, so his brothers and his brethren and his niggas could make it. That was Harry. Do you know what I'm saying? I remember, so one of my earlier songs is a song called Bamboo, and I remember when I wrote Bamboo is a weird ass song. Like I get why it wasn't got. Do you get it? Because it's like 52 bars for the first verse and about an 8-bar chorus and another 40 bars for the second verse. Like these times I'm still in poet mode, but the artistic direction, the craftsmanship of the sound, everything was like, nothing was happening like that at the time. And I remember door after door after door was just closing. Like, and I just lost all my jobs. Like I lost my job. I've been fired from every job I ever worked, but I lost the last one around that time, and so I didn't have bread to. Whatever bread I had left was going into the music. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm pouring what is left of me into trying to get this song out there. Doors closing, doors closing, doors closing. I remember doing a photo shoot, or getting asked to do a photo shoot. And it's funny because now anytime anybody pulls up a picture of me and Harry, it's from that photo shoot. And I didn't know who the other model was going to be. Do you know what I'm saying? So I've got there and it's my brother. I'm like sick. So we've had an amazing day. We finally get to shoot together. Because I had the only model part-time, but like that was his bread and butter. Do you know what I'm saying? So now we finally get to do a shoot together, sick. Shoot ends, I'm in the corner just kind of like staring into space. He comes over, he's like, yo, what's up? And I'm telling him about this tune. I show him the video, and he was like, bro, this is the coldest shit I've ever seen. I'm telling you, for the next week, he was dedicated to getting this tune out for me. And he introduced me to so many people that I swear to you, I wouldn't have a career now without that. Do you see what I'm saying? And for things to have gotten to where it's got to now, my resolution is the fact that I've managed to continue his work. I've managed to continue his self-sacrifice and keep pushing that forward. And I know, when you just know, bottom of my, like if he was here, he would be gassed. Gassed! He'd be, what? We're flying where to do what? Come man, my passport's there. That's the time, but he's there, what? See you out there. LA next week? Yeah, soon. Boom. He's like, he'd be there, and do you know what it is? He wouldn't even be doing that cool boy thing where it's like, yeah, let me backstage. Harry's in the mosh. Yeah. He started it.
On it.
Do you get me? Like, that's what I see when I look. Like, even sometimes I'll look out into the crowd and I'll see somebody that's with me. You know when you're performing, you see someone that's with you, that's rapping every lyric, right. I see Harry in them. Do you get me? Like, that's a real moment for me because I'm like, this would be me and, like, when I'm rapping, I'll be me and Harry. When I see one kid pushing, that's Harry. His spirits come, he's taking over these people. Do you know what I'm saying? So more time, yeah, man. I'm good. You just miss people, man. I miss him, yeah. But
you okay?
Yeah, man, I'm so.
Do you see light at the end of the tunnel?
Yeah. I'm a realist in a sense where, again, it's like Solo, bro. Sometimes it's alright to just deal with what you're dealing with. It doesn't mean that you're in a bad place. I'm in a great place. I'm doing so many things now that, again, if you ask a 16-year-old me, like, I'm gassed. I think ultimately it's the artist's curse, man. It's the same way we start. It's just for every good thing that happens, you're gonna think about what else is happening next. You know, like even just a minute ago, my boys text me. He's gone. I could kiss you right now. I goes, well, what did I do? He goes, X, Y, and Z festival. And I go, oh yeah. And I forgot I put him forward to play a whole festival under like bare big acts, But I forgotten. Because again, that's just the influence of Harry. Help your peoples them and keep doing it and just keep pushing on. And then, but for him, that's gonna be, do you get me, a significant moment to live and all that stuff. Like now I'm in that place where it's like actually where I can open doors and give opportunities and make certain things more visible. I'm super enjoying it. You know, there's artists at the moment that I'm super into, and like they probably get bored of me just randomly saying their names in interviews and not hitting them up to do tunes. I'm a fan. I want to be a fan for as long as possible. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a guy called Bow Wow that you'd fuck with.
Okay.
Yeah, I just put you on.
All right, love. Yeah, I'm gonna check that. I'm gonna check him out still. Listen, bro, I appreciate you like giving me some of your time and stuff like that. You've put together a really, really good album that I think, you know, if people trust my taste buds in particular, yeah, and they haven't heard it, they'll come across this and say, yeah, man, like this is a real good body of work that can also have, you know, new people come along and say, right, what was before this then? Like, what did I miss? But ultimately, like, this is something you definitely should be proud of, man.
I'm gassed.
You know what I mean?
I'm gassed.
Stepping stone onto the next thing.
100%.
Whatever that may be. But yeah, bro, thanks for coming by and like giving some of your time. Reason to smile. Bro.
Anytime, Chucky, man.
Love, man.
Anytime.
I did call for the Lord when I stress my dog. Why I never hit him when I bless my Lord? Blessing highly favored, not the vibe gone down. Make you with her in this town with a right around. Bad from me born, but me righteous. And I never shed tears in a crisis star. Bad from me born, but me righteous. And I never shed tears in a crisis star. We only counting summers in the city that I'm from. Had to live